The concept of home has undergone a dramatic transformation over the last few decades, shifting from a place of simple comfort and security to the ultimate canvas for personal expression and status. For the world of the ultra-wealthy, a home is no longer just a collection of expensive furniture, high-end appliances, and beautifully manicured gardens. It has become an architectural battleground where the rich and famous compete to outdo one another with increasingly extravagant, rare, and sometimes bizarre amenities. From private subterranean nightclubs and multi-level indoor racetracks to subterranean car museums and simulated rainforests, the boundaries of domestic luxury are being pushed further every single day. Celebrities, influencers, and corporate tycoons possess the financial power to turn their wildest imaginations into tangible reality, creating personal sanctuaries that look more like high-concept amusement parks or high-tech museums than actual living spaces. As these magnificent structures grow more complex and ostentatious, they inevitably reflect the deep desires and psychological motivations of their owners, who often view their properties as monuments to their own success and cultural relevance. If you find these deep dives into celebrity culture and the hidden worlds of the wealthy fascinating, please take a brief moment to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss our upcoming investigations. When we look closely at this relentless race for domestic novelty, we see a fascinating pattern emerge where the natural world is increasingly being brought indoors. It is no longer enough to have a beautiful view of a mountain range, a private beach, or a rolling hillside. The modern trend demands that nature itself be tamed, captured, and integrated directly into the floor plans of these multi-million-dollar mega-mansions. Wealthy homeowners are investing heavily in bringing elements of the wild into their daily lives, constructing massive indoor waterfalls, domestic aviaries filled with exotic birds, and living walls covered in rare tropical plants. This obsession with incorporating living organisms into interior design speaks to a unique paradox of modern wealth, where individuals use immense financial resources to separate themselves from the ordinary world, only to spend fortunes trying to recreate a controlled version of the wilderness inside their private fortresses. The desire to walk among the exotic and the dangerous from the safety of a climate-controlled living room has become a defining characteristic of contemporary high-end architecture, creating an entire industry of specialized builders, engineers, and biological consultants who cater exclusively to these grand residential fantasies. Among all the ambitious trends in luxury home design, none captivate the human imagination quite like the world of custom residential aquariums. Water features have always held a special place in architecture, symbolizing tranquility, wealth, and life itself. However, the traditional backyard swimming pool or the modest glass fish tank sitting in a corner has been entirely overshadowed by colossal, custom-engineered aquatic installations. These are not merely tanks, but massive, self-contained marine ecosystems that require millions of dollars, months of complex engineering, and a constant rotation of professional maintenance teams to survive. The elite class has moved past colorful tropical fish and coral reefs, increasingly seeking out larger, more imposing marine life to inhabit their custom-made glass enclosures. There is a distinct psychological thrill associated with owning a piece of the ocean depths, a silent world of predators and ancient creatures that most people only ever see through thick glass at a public institution or during a deep-sea diving excursion. To possess such a spectacle within the walls of a private estate is considered by many to be the absolute pinnacle of luxury, an unyielding statement of power that instantly separates a multimillionaire from an ordinary wealthy individual. To truly understand how these architectural marvels come to life, one must appreciate the sheer scale of the engineering challenges involved in sustaining marine life inside a domestic residence. Building a large-scale aquarium requires structural reinforcement that goes far beyond standard residential construction practices. Water is incredibly heavy, weighing over 8 pounds per gallon, meaning that a tank holding thousands of gallons requires specialized concrete foundations, heavy-duty steel columns, and massive acrylic or tempered glass panels capable of withholding immense pressure without cracking or leaking. Furthermore, recreating the exact chemical balance of the ocean inside a home requires a highly complex filtration network, complete with protein skimmers, UV sterilizers, ozone generators, and precise temperature control systems. This hidden infrastructure often occupies entire basement rooms, buzzing silently to keep the water perfectly clean and oxygenated. It is a fragile balance where even the slightest mechanical failure or chemical imbalance can result in catastrophic loss, making the preservation of these private underwater worlds an ongoing, highly expensive commitment that extends long after the initial construction is completed. This growing obsession with grand domestic displays sets the stage for our main narrative, which centers on a massive property nestled in the prestigious neighborhood of Tarzana, California. Tarzana has long been known as an exclusive enclave for high-profile individuals, offering expansive estates, private gated communities, and a level of seclusion that is highly prized by Hollywood elites, music industry icons, and successful entrepreneurs. Within this sun-drenched Californian paradise sits a sprawling $15 million mansion that stands as a testament to modern luxury and bespoke architectural design. The property is a massive compound built entirely from the ground up, designed to reflect the specific tastes, passions, and creative energy of its famous owner. Every single corner of this estate was crafted to impress, featuring multiple guest houses, state-of-the-art recording studios, private fitness centers, and an array of custom entertainment spaces meant for hosting lavish gatherings and showcasing an affluent lifestyle to the world. It was inside this very Tarzana mansion that a highly public reveal took place, sparking a massive conversation across the internet and drawing the sharp attention of international wildlife advocates. During an exclusive behind-the-scenes video tour hosted by a popular internet personality, the global pop sensation and hitmaker Jason Derulo decided to give his millions of followers an unfiltered look inside his private sanctuary. Known worldwide for his chart-topping anthems, incredible dance abilities, and massive social media presence, the 36-year-old singer has never been one to shy away from grand gestures or public displays of luxury. As the camera followed him through the grand hallways and sleek, modern spaces of his multi-million-dollar home, viewers were treated to a spectacle of pure opulence. Yet, nothing could have prepared the audience for the centerpiece of the main living area, an architectural feature so unique and unexpected that it immediately became the focal point of the entire tour, setting off a chain reaction of public fascination, intense online debate, and heavy criticism from global animal welfare organizations. The moment the camera panned down toward the floor of Jason Derulo's main living room, viewers were introduced to a feature that completely redefines the concept of home interior design. Embedded directly beneath the polished floorboards lies a colossal, custom-engineered circular marine aquarium valued at a staggering $1 million. This structural marvel is capped with thick, high-durability architectural glass that allows anyone standing in the room to look directly down into a swirling vortex of deep-sea life. As guests walk across the living room, they are literally walking on top of a fully functioning ocean habitat, watching a collection of sharks and stingrays glide effortlessly through the illuminated water beneath their feet. The visual impact is undeniably striking, creating an immediate sensation of walking on water while apex predators circle below. For a music superstar accustomed to performing on the grandest stages in the world, this home installation represents the ultimate theatrical statement, transforming a standard domestic space into a living, breathing exhibition that commands the absolute attention of anyone who steps inside. During the expansive home tour, which was broadcast to millions of eager viewers by the prominent internet personality N3On, Derulo spoke candidly and with evident pride about the immense logistical challenges and astronomical financial investments required to turn this wild architectural dream into a reality. The 36-year-old artist revealed that the creation of this subfloor ecosystem was an incredibly tedious and prolonged process that tested the limits of residential engineering. He explained to the host that the project required combining two entirely different worlds of construction, bringing together a team of specialized commercial swimming pool builders to excavate and pour the massive concrete shell of the tank, and then bringing in elite aquarium technicians to install the complex life support systems and biological elements. The process was also filled with trial and error, as Derulo admitted that an earlier version of the flooring failed to showcase the marine animals with the level of clarity he desired. Driven by a perfectionist vision, he ordered the entire background of the tank to be replaced with a stark, brilliant white finish, ensuring that the dark silhouettes of the swimming sharks and flat-bodied stingrays would pop with maximum visual contrast against the brightly lit water. Maintaining $1 million ocean habitat inside a private California residence is not a passive endeavor, and Derulo went on to detail the rigorous around-the-clock upkeep required to keep the exhibit running flawlessly. He shared that a dedicated team of professional marine biologists and aquarium maintenance experts visits his Tarzana estate every 48 hours without fail. This highly specialized crew is tasked with meticulously monitoring the delicate chemical balance of the water, checking salinity levels, ensuring optimal temperature controls, and physically scrubbing the massive glass panels to prevent the buildup of unsightly algae. The constant presence of these professionals highlights the extreme nature of the installation, proving that such a luxury feature is not just a one-time purchase but a continuous high-cost operational commitment. For the pop star, this meticulous care is simply the price of admission for owning one of the most exclusive and talked-about private home features in the entire entertainment industry, cementing his reputation as a public figure who stops at nothing to achieve the absolute peak of luxury. However, as footage of the breathtaking living room floor tour inevitably migrated from YouTube to TikTok, spreading rapidly across various social media platforms and accumulating millions of views, the initial wave of awe and fascination was quickly met with a massive wave of public scrutiny. The spectacle of wild oceanic predators being used as a literal floor display in a celebrity mansion struck a deeply sensitive chord with wildlife advocates and conservationists worldwide. What Jason Derulo viewed as a crowning achievement of modern design and personal success, others saw as a glaring example of overindulgence and a disregard for the welfare of complex marine species. The imagery of majestic sea creatures trapped in a subterranean circle beneath the living room floor ignited a fierce online debate regarding the ethics of keeping such large, migratory animals in domestic environments purely for human entertainment and status projection. The growing public outcry quickly caught the attention of major international conservation organizations, leading to a fierce and formal condemnation from the International Fund for Animal Welfare, commonly known as IFUB. The global organization released a powerful, multi-layered statement aimed directly at the singer's controversial home feature, accusing Derulo of setting an incredibly damaging and irresponsible example for his global audience. Christian Plowman, the highly respected program manager of wildlife cybercrime at IFAO, spoke out passionately regarding the situation, noting that sharks around the globe are currently facing unprecedented ecological pressures. Plowman emphasized that these ancient marine predators are already severely threatened on a global scale by rampant overfishing, widespread ocean pollution, and rapid habitat destruction, with a terrifying number of species now officially classified as endangered or critically vulnerable. By transforming these critical ecological actors into high-priced home decor, critics argue that the installation minimizes the severe crisis facing global marine life today in his extensive statement, which was widely reported by major international news outlets like The Mirror. Plowman dug much deeper into the troubling broader implications of celebrity-owned exotic pets. He pointed out that sharks and rays are not just charismatic animals. They play an absolutely vital, irreplaceable role in maintaining the health and balance of delicate ocean ecosystems worldwide. When these apex predators are removed from their natural habitats or bred in captivity to supply the commercial market, it fuels a dangerous industry that views wild animals as mere commodities. Plowman drew a direct and sobering parallel between the celebrity demand for luxury displays and the broader, more insidious illegal wildlife trade. He highlighted a recent major law enforcement operation in Argentina, where authorities seized more than 700 trafficked marine animals, serving as a stark, tragic reminder that the illicit exotic pet trade stretches far beyond the land animals most people typically think of, heavily targeting marine life to satisfy the cravings of wealthy collectors. The core of the conservation group's criticism lies in the psychological and cultural impact of normalizing these types of extreme domestic installations. Plowman explicitly called out the troubling modern phenomenon where wild, free-ranging animals are treated as the ultimate luxury status symbol by the global elite. He argued that when influencers and musical artists with millions of impressionable followers treat living, wild creatures as if they were simple interior design features or living carpets, the negative consequences extend far beyond the walls of their multi-million-dollar living rooms. The primary danger is that such displays send a highly damaging, distorted message to audiences across the globe, suggesting that wild animals exist merely to be captured, purchased, and displayed as trophies of financial success. This normalization creates a dangerous trickling-down effect, driving up global demand for exotic marine life among amateur hobbyists who may lack the immense financial resources required to properly care for these highly sensitive species, ultimately putting even greater pressure on wild populations. The powerful condemnation from the International Fund for Animal Welfare did not merely stop at criticizing the physical structure of the tank, but instead extended into a direct, passionate appeal regarding the immense social responsibility that comes with global fame. Christian Plowman openly challenged the 36-year-old pop star, stating that if Jason Derulo genuinely cares about these remarkable marine animals, he should actively use his massive global platform as a powerful force for good rather than a source of entertainment. With tens of millions of followers across TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, Derulo possesses a unique and influential reach that few individuals on the planet can match. Wildlife advocates argue that instead of showcasing apex predators as luxury floor accessories, the singer could use his widespread influence to educate the public about marine conservation, dispel harmful myths surrounding sharks, and bring vital awareness to the fragile state of our oceans by shifting the narrative from ownership to preservation. High-profile figures have the unique potential to help turn the tide on a commercial trade that is currently pushing some of the planet's most ancient and magnificent marine species closer to the brink of absolute extinction. In an effort to completely, we halt the viral momentum of the home tour footage. The International Wildlife Group also turned its focus toward the general public, issuing a stern warning about the hidden dangers of digital engagement. I have strongly urged social media users around the world not to like, share, comment on, or engage with online content that normalizes or celebrates the keeping of wild animals as domestic pets or architectural decorations. In the modern digital age, every single view, click, and interaction directly feeds the complex algorithms that govern social platforms, amplifying the reach of the content and inadvertently increasing the cultural demand for these exotic luxury displays. When a video of a residential shark tank goes viral, it creates a powerful commercial incentive for other wealthy individuals and content creators to replicate the spectacle, further fueling the global trade. The message from conservationists remains absolute and uncompromising, asserting that sharks, stingrays, and other wild creatures are not fashion accessories, they are not interior design floor displays, and they should never be treated as domestic pets. The intense backlash against the singer quickly intensified across the internet, as thousands of everyday social media users flooded comment sections to express their deep discomfort and disapproval of the million-dollar installation. While some fans were initially amazed by the sheer scale and technical engineering of the subfloor aquarium, the overwhelming consensus across major platforms shifted toward sharp condemnation. Many users labeled the living room feature as inherently cruel and deeply unnatural, arguing that large, wide-ranging ocean predators should never be confined to a circular concrete enclosure beneath a living room couch, no matter how clean the water is kept or how white the background is painted. Other commentators focused heavily on the stark contrast between extreme wealth and ethical responsibility, noting that using millions of dollars to trap wild marine life inside a house is a depressing reflection of modern celebrity culture. The public reaction clearly demonstrated a growing societal intolerance for the exploitation of wildlife for personal status, showing that modern audiences are increasingly willing to hold their favorite artists accountable for their environmental choices. From a strictly legal standpoint, the situation presents a complex gray area that highlights the ongoing conflict between regional laws and global animal welfare standards. In the state of California, keeping certain smaller, non-endangered shark and ray species within a private residential aquarium is entirely legal, provided the owner adheres to specific wildlife regulations and obtains the necessary permits for transport and possession. Because of these legal allowances, a thriving luxury industry exists to cater to ultra-wealthy homeowners who wish to install grand aquatic features in their estates. However, major animal welfare groups and marine conservation organizations have long opposed these permissive legal frameworks, arguing that local laws fail to account for the complex biological, spatial, and psychological needs of large marine animals. While Derulo may be operating completely within the boundaries of California law, wildlife advocates maintain that legality does not equal morality, and that the domestic confinement of these species remains deeply unethical despite its official legal status. This controversial million-dollar living room installation is also not an isolated incident, but rather the latest and most dramatic chapter in Jason Derulo's long-standing public fascination with large marine life. Over the years, the pop star has frequently incorporated aquatic and predatory themes into his lifestyle, personal branding, and family celebrations. For instance, in the spring of 2023, The singer made headlines when he reportedly spent roughly $30,000 on an incredibly extravagant shark-themed second birthday party for his young son, Jason King. The lavish event featured massive marine decorations, a custom-designed multi-tiered cake inspired by the popular children's song, and elaborate outdoor sparkler displays. While that birthday celebration was viewed at the time as a harmless, high-budget family event, critics now look back at it as an early indication of an ongoing obsession that eventually culminated in the construction of the permanent subterranean shark habitat inside his $15 million Tarzana compound. The broader journey of Jason Derulo from a young, aspiring R&B singer to a multi-platinum global superstar with the financial power to reshape his home around wild ocean predators is a fascinating study in modern celebrity evolution. Rising to fame in the late 2000s with an incredible string of chart-topping pop hits, Derulo successfully built an entertainment empire based on high-energy performances, catchy songwriting, and a sharp understanding of digital media trends. As his wealth and cultural influence expanded over nearly 2 decades, his lifestyle grew increasingly grand, reflecting the classic trajectory of Hollywood success where traditional markers of luxury eventually give way to highly customized, bespoke architectural projects. The installation of the subfloor aquarium represents the absolute peak of this personal evolution, an attempt to create an unforgettable, signature environment that would forever distinguish his property from any other celebrity mansion in the world. Ultimately, the